Bye.
Hey, Andrew. Andrew.
Hey, we just came by to thank you for your help and support during the past few months.
Yeah, with the murder investigation and the trial.
Well, listen, it's just good to see you two together again.
Yeah.
At long last.
Yeah. How about you? What, are you getting the place all spiffed up for a hot date?
Well, if you want to call a hot date a visit from the bishop, give me a command visit here. And I got a real uneasy feeling about what he wants to say.
Blair?
Max, I really didn't expect you to come.
Yeah, well, I almost didn't. But then I figured that you had a bone to pick with me about what Bo and Clint and I did, using your mother to catch Carlos' killer. We're wrong, I admit it. So if you want to vent some steam, vent. I hear that much, and then let me get out of here, and hopefully I will never see you again.
I am not here about Addie.
Oh. Then what am I doing here?
I want to ask you a question about Leanne.
Stephanie disappeared. What are you talking about? Stephanie disappeared.
The ambulance that transported Stephanie never made it to the city jail.
Are you saying that Stephanie's missing?
Well, maybe not. Well, because you see, there's this S. Hobart who caught a plane about an hour ago out of Mexico City on her way to Havana, Cuba, which is a very convenient thing since Cuba doesn't extradite confessed criminals back to the good old U.S. of A. You got any thoughts on that, Alex?
How could I have any thoughts on that? Oh, that poor child. I feel so terrible for her. First, she's browbeaten into making a confession, a false confession about murdering someone that she didn't murder, her poor uncle. And now she's been hijacked on this airplane to this country where no one can rescue her.
One life to...
Come on, Alex. You know you got your niece out of the country before she slipped up and told the truth.
Oh, don't be absurd, Hank.
Look, there's no way she could have done that particular murder, at least not without a lot of help.
Well, if I'm so guilty, how come your people forced my niece to make a confession? She didn't have a motive.
Oh, but she did. Poor kid. We got confirmation from Washington. This guy that we've known as J.J. Donald turns out to be a Joseph Hobart, Carlo Hesser's older brother. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, he was also Stephanie's father. It seems that he didn't have the stomach for Carlo's involvement with the mob, so he became an informant for the FAB. Carlo took him out while Stephanie was off in Switzerland going to school, and then he had some of his guerrilla boys fake a car wreck in a river. Then they called Stephanie and told her that poor little daddy was dead. But hey, why am I boring you with this? You know all of this. You've known all along. From the minute you heard it on the tape, Carlo murdering J.J. Donald. And that's what Sarah Buchanan saw that made Carlo so scared of her.
So, you're saying that if Stephanie thought that Carlo had killed her own father, then she might be...
She might be mad enough to kill, but she wouldn't know how to get away with it. But how about you, Alex? You're creative, innovative. Talk to me.
You know, I'm still amazed that Alex wants us to work for her.
Yeah, well, I think it's really me she wants, honey.
Oh, don't flatter yourself.
Trust me, that is
Thank
not
you.
a compliment. Thanks. Excuse me, would you please look over there?
Look over where?
Hey, I can't believe it. It's Max and Blair together, just like I said they would, behind Ace's back. And he's not here, so I can prove it to him, of course. I wish I had a camera, I could take a picture.
Just answer the question, Max. Did you know that Leanne's baby was yours? Why didn't you tell me? Or was it that, all the time that you were trying to get me into bed, you were also sleeping with Leanne?
Oh. You know, lady, you've got one hell of a nerve. Weren't you the one who slept with me one afternoon, then 2 hours later you married another man?
You haven't answered the question.
Yes, the baby is mine. Why didn't I tell you? I didn't know. I just found out.
When I heard Leanne was pregnant, I asked her if I was the father, and she said, back off.
The baby is Kevin's, so I backed off. And now she has told me differently, and I am dealing with it. And no, I was not sleeping with her when I met you. And no, I have not slept with anyone since I have been with you. Because stupid as it may sound, I was in love with you.
Yeah, picture that. There's one of us born every minute, and people like you can spot us suckers coming, can't you? So listen, why don't you just consider me an addiction that you just kicked, and just leave me the hell alone, huh? I'm sure you're rich enough, Mrs. Buchanan, that you don't mind picking up the check. Tina, you want a little unsolicited advice? And this is speaking from experience. Stay away from liars.
I just came from putting some summer roses on Megan's grave.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like life's a little too much about what you lose.
Sure, we know that feeling, don't we?
Yep, but you gotta fight it. And we plan to get back the time that we lost, and we were hoping that you would marry us again next fall.
Yeah, I would feel like I was regaining something if I could marry. I'd be delighted, absolutely delighted to marry. Yeah.
Andrew, it's Bishop Fane.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we'll get out of here. Good luck, huh?
Oh, Andrew, I almost forgot. Jake called. He's coming back to Lambview next week to deal with Megan's estate. And he made me promise to give you his best.
Yeah, okay. How'd he sound?
Well, if that was his best, I'd hate to hear his worst. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hello.
Parishioners?
That was the sister of Megan Harrison, the woman I talked to you about last winter. Gave me some good advice then, Bishop.
All of which you chose to ignore. You continued to see that Megan person. You disobeyed my order to stay away at that retreat. And then you abandoned your parish without permission to go to Java. So much for my very good advice.
Megan was dying.
Yes, well, that was then. This is now. Some very serious charges are being made against you, Andrew. This time, I want you to listen to my advice and to obey my orders.
I'm a big kid, look what I can do.
Well, do you deny this charge?
If you're talking about the charge that I tried to seduce Billy Douglas, absolutely. I want to ask you if you've thought about where these charges are coming from.
I understand that the Douglases are very respected members of this community.
I'm sure they are, but there are also two people who seem to be very upset at what they're perceiving as my social politics. I gave a sermon on AIDS.
And I wore a red ribbon on the pulpit that Sunday, and I wanted to show the congregation that we're all in this together, in this fight against a deadly disease, and I wanted to impress upon them that if Christ came back now, he wouldn't turn his back on people with AIDS. Do you think he would?
I'm quite sure he wouldn't. I'm also certain that this social activism of yours is a completely separate issue from this very serious charge of seducing a minor.
Did the Douglases happen to say who put this ugly notion in their head?
Somebody from the parish. They wouldn't say who. They also said they saw certain things themselves.
Things? What things? There were no things to see. And if you doubt that I'm telling the truth, you can ask Billy Douglas.
Billy Douglas was there.
That's fine.
When his parents made the accusation.
Okay, what did he say?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Hey, Luna.
Hey, are you okay? You look tired, honey.
Well, Max and I had, what is the opposite of a falling out? A falling in? But, you know, he said right now all he cares about is what's right for you and that little baby.
Okay, so what did he say about the paternity test?
Well, he didn't make any promises just yet, but I know he's going to come around and he's going to stick by you.
That's all we need.
Don't you want your friends to rally around you?
No, what we want is to get through the divorce and custody fight, and then figure out how we're going to pay for it.
Well, I might be able to help you with something, because, you know, I am coming up with some money right now these days with that radio show gig and Serenity Springs Spa, and if I couldn't scrape up enough, I know Max would be glad to help you out
What,
with
we
the
look
legal
like a
fees.
charity case here? Really, I appreciate your concern, but we don't want your money, Luna, and I sure as hell don't want a handout from Max. I wish he never got tangled up in our lives again.
So, you think I killed Carlo, I killed Julia, I framed Sarah, I framed Kane, and I made Stephanie disappear. Gee, Hank, when would I have had time to do my nails?
I can't prove it. Yet. But I'm going to be watching you, Alex. And if there's one phone call to a tropical isle or a money order that I can trace to Stephanie, I'm going to be all over you, baby, like a second skin.
Oh, then I just got to make that phone call right away. Yo, Havana, how's the weather down there? You're supposed to be all over me like a second skin.
When you least expect it. That's when.
Are you still winging across the sky, my little Stephanie? En route? Or wherever you are, you're safe. Told you I'd get you out of here, and I did. Are you proud of me, Carlo? Did all of this for you?
There's a new kind of comfort for women on the move. Something so soft and flexible it follows every move. New Always Sheer Confidence panty liners with soft sort. Unlike regular liners, they're flexible, not stiff, with adhesive edge to edge to help stay put no matter how you move. A panty liner's so comfortable it's hard to believe it's there.
So you satisfied, Kane? Yo. Max and Blair just got into a whole nother fight, okay? It is obviously over between them. So obviously we have nothing left to tell Asa. So obviously we just better let it go. Please.
All right, okay. I mean, what are we going to do with our free time? I mean, it's not exactly like Cordero Incorporated is a beehive of activity.
I thought you liked hanging out in our new office. It was really nice of you to let me name it after Cord.
No problem.
Uh-huh.
Don't get me wrong, I love hanging out at our office. I love sitting in my nice comfy chair. I love dreaming about buying all sorts of real estate. Unfortunately, my dreams are never realized. I'm only a mogul in my mind. We do have one offer on the table.
The one from Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's ridiculous, of course. Should we discuss it?
Yes, I think we should.
Okay, first, let me make sure I got this whole thing straight.
Mm-hmm.
Alex wants us to check out the security system at the local museum so that when the Cleopatra exhibit comes to town, then we can find out if the museum really is burglar-proof. And if it really is burglar-proof, then we're supposed to tell Alex and she's going to burglar-proof her home just like that?
That's what she says.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now that you said it out loud, how do you feel about this plan?
I think it's a wee bit suspicious.
Bingo.
Bingo.
See, I think Alex got something up her sleeve, huh?
I think so, too. Like what?
Well, I think I have an idea, but I just want to make sure first.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kane,
Mm-hmm.
can you do me a favor?
Yeah?
Can you try and make sure? I mean, is it even possible for you to do it without having us end up in jail or handcuffed to a steam pipe in a boiler room or locked in a closet with a couple of thugs?
Sure, if you want to take all the fun out of it. Thought you liked adventure.
I like adventure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing hanging out with you.
Well, I think one good reason is, And then there's also, of course, unless we not forget...
Want a little wine, my darling? Well, I guess not in your condition. I better go pretty easy on it myself, huh?
Carla, will you please hear my confession? I really need to tell it to you so that maybe I can get on with my life. Please don't hate me, darling. Please say that you don't hate me. Try to understand. Even... How was I to know that when you lashed out at me that you were in pain? That you had a secret inside of yourself that was festering? I just want to know who Scarecrow was and why you wanted to kill him anyway.
Why do you keep asking?
Because I don't want to make the same mistake.
You're moving dangerously close to it. You never learn, do you? I don't want you ever to talk about the Scarecrow or the shooting. Not to me, not to anyone. You get that?
Yes, honey, yes, okay. That night was destined to be your last. I did find out about Scarecrow, didn't I? And it drove you crazy. I can explain everything to you.
To stay out of my affairs. You've gone so far, right? You want to frighten you, Mrs. Hesse. We're married. In sickness and health. Love, honor, and obey. I'll get out of here. I would never do anything to hurt you. Oh, you cut my throat and son of... No, I would not. Out of here. Come on. Come on, get up. Take it. Come on. We don't want you catching your death, do we, Alex? Come on, get out of here. Get out.
I was so upset by your rejection, Carla, that I forgot to tell you the single thing that may have saved your life. You see, Stephanie knew about your secret, too. She had heard the tape. She had recognized her father's voice on it, pleading for his life. She had heard you yell for father.
You broke my heart.
Carla, listen.
It's too late for that.
didn't occur to me until it was too late what Stephanie had planned to do. And Carlo, after I'd lost you, what did I have to hold on to? What did you leave behind?
Just your love for Stephanie.
So, I helped her. Even though she's the one that killed you.
What?
What is that, fan mail?
Well, not exactly. It starts out, Dear Lunatic.
Why do you read this junk?
Well, I'm kind of curious about this guy. He's a fella Tar Heel, and he called on the Loveline show, and he just sounds so all torn up and sad, you know, like somebody shot his best friend.
Maybe they did.
No, it's more like somebody broke his heart, and he just doesn't want anybody else to be happy, long as he's not. But he's got this beautiful way of seeing the world. Listen to this. Dear Lunatic. And let's see, oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here it is, okay. You ever sat up late at night and heard a baby cry somewhere? And you know its mama is probably holding it, giving it all the love she can, but that baby won't be comforted. It just cries on and on in the dark. You know why?
You know why? Because that baby can see what's coming. Down that pothole, two-lane, blacktop kind of life he'll probably get. Around the next curve, it's just open highway, stretching on and on forever. No decency, no love, no kindness. Just hope run out of gas in the breakdown lane. And dead-end dreams lying there with no wheels. And love lying flat as a road-killed skunk.
Well, I bet he's a load of laughs, huh? What is his voice like?
Well, sexy, I guess, but, you know, that don't mean diddly. Bet he's got a frown on him that would stop a clock. That's probably why he's so down on love. Okay. Juana's place?
Hi, Leanne.
No, this is Luna. Is this Mag?
Yeah, Luna, can I talk to Leanne?
Sure. Here she is.
Hello?
Hey, Leanne, this is Max. Would it be okay if I stop by now to talk?
Sure. Max, that'd be fine. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, great. I'm on my way.
Oh, Asa, I am so sorry. I'm late. I tried to get a message to you.
It's okay, Blair. I read the paper clear down to the shipping news. Had a few words with one of those no-good sons of mine. Get caught up in traffic?
I don't want to lie to you, Asa. I went to see Max.
You're fully aware how I feel about that?
Yes, of course I am. But if this marriage is going to work, you've got to be able to trust me. Now, I got my fill of sneaking around when I was getting revenge on Dorian, and I have decided from now on, if I want to get something done, I'm going to do it up front.
You needed to talk to Max?
Ace, I had to know if it was true, if Leanne's baby was his. And he said it was. Now, I know how little I must have meant to him, and that chapter of my life is finally closed.
I thank you for being honest, Blair.
You're not mad?
Change your clothes. I'll saddle up a couple of ponies.
Believe me, my darling, I understand why your last words were forgive me. It was Stephanie's absolution that you wanted, not that foolish Renee's. You only said Renee's name to make the police think that the murder had something to do with Asa's jealousy. That's why, when I knew that there was nothing else that I could do for you, I did everything I could to help the one person that you loved in this world besides me. Your killer, Stephanie. You'd thrown me out, and I'd wandered over to Giorgio's. I was trying to console myself by making this little under-the-table deal with Kane Rogan. I was going to exchange some information that I had about him, this money he'd be skimming from Asa for the diamonds, you know, that he'd stolen from us. Everything's all arranged. Mr. Rogan, you're a godsend. I'm sorry about your hand.
Yeah, I'll just get the check.
No,
all right?
no, I invited you. I'll take care of it.
Fair enough.
And you know, something prompted me not to tell Kane that I'd found his little tacky bracelet. It was almost like I knew I could have some use for it later. Then I drove home. I was so hoping that you'd just let me right back into the house. But when I got here, you were out in the parking lot. Where was he going? I was thinking to myself. Max Holden's house was not at the top of my guest list. By the time I parked, you'd already got up to that horrible attic. My skin was crawling when I got there, and I don't know why. And I ran in there, and I heard 3 shots. And that's when I remembered the gun that I was sure Stephanie had taken.
Oh, my God, Stephanie! Oh, my God!
I can understand why Billy would be silent. Imagine how you would react. Your parents are out of the blue accusing an innocent older man of molesting you. That would be enough to stun you into silence, just like Billy, wouldn't it?
Maybe it would,
Okay.
if the charge was false. On the other hand, if I cared about this older man and the charge were true, I might be equally tongue-tied.
All right. Let me talk to Billy. I'm sure that if he's scared, I can get him to come forward with the truth. Obviously, I would also need permission to talk with his parents.
I don't know if his parents are very keen on talking to you right now.
So I can't talk to the Douglases. I can't talk to Billy. Do I deserve a chance here? Do I? Do I get a chance to confront these accusations at the source?
The trouble with this kind of accusation is that it has a ripple effect. The damage keeps on spreading out, even if one can prove that the original accusation is not true.
And how do you suggest that we stop these ripples?
Well, first of all, we have to find out why the Douglases have picked on you. Out of all the older men that their son comes in contact with, his teachers, his counselors, his coaches, why have they singled you out to be the victim of this rumor?
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I've already told you that I gave the sermon on AIDS. And I ran interference for Billy when his parents were against him being involved in the community center. Those are some of the reasons I can think of. I'm wondering, Bishop, can you think of any other reason?
Are there any girls that you've given this much attention to? I'm just trying to think like the Douglases.
Oh, yes, you are, and you're succeeding quite well, Bishop. You are thinking just like the Douglases. You're thinking I'm single. That's pretty scary, isn't it? And you're thinking that I'm spending a lot more time than you'd like to see with a very young, attractive man in the parish. And you're thinking that maybe I'm alienating him from his parents so that I would seem more attractive in his eyes. So why don't you ask me the question that you really want to ask, Bishop?
Are you gay?
You know you have no right to ask me that question, don't you? My sexual preference is nobody's business, nobody's, and that means not the vestry's, not the parishioners, and not yours. And I am not going to answer that question, not now, and not ever.
Do you remember, honey? Do you remember what you said to me the last time we shared one of these? You said that I reminded you of a baked Alaska turned inside out. Cold on the outside and hot on the inside. You made me that way, my dear. And ever since you've been gone, the flame has been burned out. Ever since I figured out what must have happened that night. After I heard the shots, I ran upstairs. And all of a sudden, guess who appeared? Couldn't believe it. Well, at first I didn't know what to do, but then I thought there wasn't much point in letting Julia Medina find out what was going on in the attic, so I walked over behind her and helped her down the stairs. When I got up to the attic, I found Stephanie standing there in shock. I felt myself slipping into shock too, but I fought it. I knew one of us had to be on top of the situation. Somehow, I don't even remember doing it. I got Stephanie downstairs and into the foyer. Okay. Do you think you can give me the gun now, honey? You think you can give me the gun? That's such a good girl. Thank you. Okay, now listen. I want you to take your raincoat off. I realized that bright red raincoat she had on was too likely to attract attention, so I switched with her. All my years in the Bureau, everything that I'd ever been taught paid off that night. I forced myself to be calm, to think. Stephanie, I want you to go to Wanda's right now. Okay? And I want you to slip in the back like you've been there all night long. All right? Here's your purse. There you go. Stephanie, honey. I'm gonna take care of everything. I mean it, Stephanie. I'm gonna take care of everything. I promise you. And through it all, my darling Carlo, I kept thinking, what would you have wanted me to do? I knew you would have wanted me to protect Stephanie. I just knew it.
My husband's on the phone. He's going to faint.
Maine to California.
Oh, God, Billy.
People just like you.
As funny as I think I always knew. I would look at you when you were carrying Duke, and I'd feel something. It was like we were connected somehow. Luna said you wanted me to take a paternity test?
Yeah. Max, I really need you to if I'm going to stop Kevin's claim on the baby. I mean, he's taking one himself. He's so convinced that I'm lying to him about who the father is. The worst part of it is that he has every right to think I'm lying since the whole marriage was a lie. I mean, I let him believe that it was his baby. I just wish I could figure out a way to apologize to him. And to you. Max, I know I hurt you too.
I still don't understand why you had to hide this from me.
Because up until the very moment that I married Kevin. And I was torturing myself as to whether or not I should tell you. I kept hoping that you would say you loved me and that you wanted to marry me. And then I was going to tell you, but Max, those words never came.
Dan, listen,
so I...
listen to me. Just listen.
What?
Hear me out. I've been thinking since you told me about Duke here. For his sake, maybe we should get married.
I must have been on an automatic pilot right up to the time where I went back up to the attic. Back up to see you. And you were just lying there. And I could tell by the way you were lying there so still, without even looking at your wings, that you were gone.
She can't do this. Please. Say for her.
Stephanie, oh, I already have started.
Alex.
Anything, honey, I'd do anything for you. I love you so much. You love me too, don't you? Please say that you love me too. You did love me, didn't you, Carlo? I have tried so hard to do well by you. I remembered that I'd had Keen Rogan's tacky spoon bracelet, so I planted it where I knew the police would find it. I was on my way back down thinking about your last wish of me to protect Stephanie. When I saw Julia Medina lying there, I had an idea. Took the watch off of her wrist, then I moved the time on the dial to about 9:30. I didn't want it to be exactly 9:30 because that would look too neat, and well, neatness is always suspicious. Then I smashed the watch so that it would stop. The police would assume that that was the time she fell down the stairs. I figured they would believe that that was the time of the murder, a time when I knew Stephanie would have had an alibi at Wanda's. It's so funny, I was stunned by what had happened. That part of my brain was so focused, so clear. I was already making plans, figuring out what I had to do, anticipating the moves Hank Gannon and Troy Nichols would make, even though I was absolutely heartbroken. Crossed my mind how foolish they would look, and I knew you would have enjoyed that thought too, honey. You and I always laughed at the same things. Things other people don't see or understand. As I was leaving the house, I had an idea for a final touch. I knew that a broken window would make the whole thing look like breaking and entering. Clue by clue, everything started falling into place. I had taken your gun and broke into Sarah's house, planted your gun there, silenced the only witness that knew where she was at the time of the murder, took her fingerprints, put them on a key, planted it outside of Max Holden's house, and
Bingo. She was arrested and convicted. Voila, Stephanie was free. Everything was fine. Until that vengeful Beau Buchanan had to open his mouth about some woman named Addie who was there at the time of the murder and saw something. Well, that's when Stephanie panicked. But even that I took care of, sweetheart. I sent her out of the country. It was the last and most final gift I could think of to give you. Well, of course there's a loose end, but... Well, yes, Addie's blabbing all that stuff about the murder, but I'll take care of her another day. Thank you for listening, sweetheart. Sports section? Carla, why am I reading the sports section? Because you read the sports section, that's why. Have any idea how much I miss you? Did I just think that you said yes when I asked you if you loved me?